It's the Rise and Shine Talk Show with Lady C, where we uplift, educate, and motivate. Hey, let's talk about life and faith, ministry, and so much more. I am Lady C, your host. Family, be sure to follow, like, and share Rise and Shine with Lady C on Facebook and Instagram. And the Rise and Shine Talk Show is available on YouTube and your favorite podcast platform. Be sure to catch me on Apple, Spotify, and iHeart, just to name a few. Thank you for joining me weekly right here on 1580thepraise.com. Family, today we have a dynamic guest, none other than Renee Morgan, who is a certified business and executive coach and founder of Radient Pearl. Her divine purpose is to guide and empower others to become whatever they want to be in life, business, or leadership. 20 years of experience in program management, including the National Institutes of Health, U.S. Department of Homeland Security, and local governments in D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. This Howard graduate has opened doors to leading to multi-million-dollar contract awards. Listen, we have somebody on the line today. Welcome to Rise and Shine, Renee. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Wonderful.
Yes.
Yes, Renee, I am so grateful and honored to have you on the show. Family, listen to this. Renee is someone special to our family. She is one of my sister Kelly's dearest friends, so we go way back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, Renee, we're so excited to have you. And again, thank you for your time. So, Renee, let's get into your interview. Renee, tell us a little bit about your story. Who is Renee?
So who is Renee? You know, that is a discovery that happens to us over time. But, you know, I would just say in the last 5, maybe 6 years, rediscovering myself and who I am and redefining. But I'm a person, I love God, first of all. He guides me in everything that I do. But, you know, I grew up here in the Washington, D.C. area. My family is from Guyana, South America. I am just a lover of all things, you know, Caribbean and business.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, grew up with parents who, you know, my dad had his own business and I was working for him as a little mini worker.
Wow.
And yeah, so, you know, just seeing how business is and how leadership is and how that goes. And then, you know, eventually my parents passed away when I was, my mom passed away when I was 13. My dad 2 weeks, when I was 21, 2 weeks after my college graduation.
Wow.
So, I've been surrounded around family and friends and things like that in a community of people. So for me, it's always been about community. It's always been about love. But just love, business, and just all of the things.
Amen. Awesome. So Renee, tell us, how did you transition into business coaching and consulting? So how did you get to this area of industry?
Okay, so I've been doing business consulting for over 20 years, as you mentioned in the intro. So the story goes this way, right? So I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. That wasn't anything that was, that I was questioning, right. But you go into your career, you go to college, you go into your career and you start working, and then you get comfortable with different things. And in my last career, I was working for one of the big fours out there. You know, it was just a lot of fun, but a lot of pressure too.
Okay.
And I found myself being stressed and, having anxiety just about everything. I mean, I was at the height of my career, believe me, and I knew they were going to promote me and all of those things. But it just came a time where I was just sitting in my room and I just was talking to God because he had been showing me it's time. And I wasn't sure, I knew what he was saying, but, you have to come to that conclusion. So I decided, I had to make a change in 2020.
Wow.
And in 2020, I started taking my certification classes in coaching. I took a Harvard course, in entrepreneurship, even though, you have all this knowledge, you're thinking, okay, I got to enhance. And I took a month off from my job and, it's unheard of in that industry but people made a way. They were like, okay, let's make a way for Renee.
Wow.
to take this time, but they didn't know what was actually happening,
Okay.
So, during that time, I, started to test my idea. Okay, I'm going to go into business coaching. I wanted to be a full-time entrepreneur.
Wonderful.
What does that look like? Right. So I just did pro bono, just started coaching family and friends and things like that. And just realized, I had a real niche. Knowing I had a niche all my life. I mean, and that's something too. I have always guided people to, go to whatever they wanted and fulfilling their dreams.
Right.
And so it really is a divine purpose of mine. It's something that I discovered.
Renee, what I love to hear that you said, you started right where you were at with family and friends.
Yeah.
And sometimes, we have this misconception, well, I got to wait till this is in place, or I get this degree, or I do this, but you started. Talk to us about starting right where you are at.
Starting right where you are. You have to start the thing. That's what I always tell people. You have to start the thing. How do you know? Everybody, that starts something that you see that's big now, they start from what they call a mustard seed. You have to start. You have to test it. You have to keep going, and you have to see what God is showing you in that process.
Yes.
Right? So even in my process of preparation, I wasn't, I was just going on what God was showing me every step of the way.
Yes.
And I knew that, at the top of the year, I had a decision to make in 2021, whether I was going to really lead. And throughout that month, I sat with God and I was, it was just clarity just throughout that whole month. But again, you have to do the thing and stay strong, because once you've made a decision with God, you know what it is. Yes. But sometimes other people come in and they say, well, what about this and you have to stand firm with what God has for you.
Oh my
And at
goodness.
the top of the year 2021, I left my corporate career. But here's the kicker: I left my corporate career, got divorced, and then officially started my business.
Look at God.
I don't suggest it.
What a journey. Oh my goodness.
Journey indeed.
Wow.
Journey indeed. Yeah,
and what's interesting, Renee, is that, sometimes, we go through this transformation, this process, and everyone, unfortunately, can't go with you.
Yeah. They can't. I mean, I love my team. They love me. We still connect with each other. But in that environment, you have a purpose where you are now. God puts you in a place of purpose. And then when it's time to move on, He's showing you, we call it, tower moments, the moments of just it's time to go. And if you stay, then you're just only hurting yourself, because God has so much more for you on the next journey.
Come on,
right?
Now. Yes.
And so, I knew it was time to move. And I'm telling you, in those 2 weeks that I took, to travel, I mean, these folks, I love them to death. They are so smart. It's every concerted effort for me to stay. Where, you can do this. And I mean, really and truly, everything, you can think of, they were going to offer me, but I had to stand firm in what I know God had for me.
Because you had an assignment. You had an assignment. I had
an assignment, and I'm on it. So that's what created Radiant Pearl. I mean, just the transformation, over, I would say starting 2018 was the time.
Wow.
The journey started off as a fertility journey, me wanting a holistic approach to wanting to have children. And then it just opened up my eyes to so much more that I could do in my life. And just God just showed me the way. So I just really, just love that. Gotcha. So that's how I transitioned.
That's awesome. So Renee, let's get to the nitty gritty, because I want to help people understand. Can you explain to the family what is a business coach and an executive leadership coach? What is that?
Right. So a lot of people ask that. So so a lot of people say, okay, coaching and consulting, right? They're two different things. They do coexist together. And so with coaching is a technique where, I ask you questions and it brings out awareness to things that you already know, right? It just brings clarity, of the things that you're overthinking, right? And then you know when you really become a more aware, then you can take action on the things that you kind of were feeling stuck in. So that's coaching. Consulting is sort of the done for you, right? I come in and I tell you what to do, and then I do it for you or whatever, what have you. But business coaching specifically is when you work with entrepreneurs, business owners, to create strategy and set clear achievable goals in their business so that they can increase revenue or hire teams or structure their business in a way that it's clear for them to go out and market to the audience that they want. Executive coaching, which is executive leadership coaching, focuses on the individual leader, right? Okay. So you're in a position at an organization and you're leading people's lives, right? And so as an executive coach, I help to enhance their capabilities as a leader, or even, just enhancing, I don't say improve, because if you're an executive leader, you've been doing this for a long time, you know what you're doing. But there's also things where we always have to, sharpen the iron, right, as we go along. And so I help people with that. So
wow, that is awesome. So Renee, how could executive leadership coaching, how could that benefit for those, many of us who are listening, who are in leadership, for those who are pastors, clergy, faith leaders? Yeah. So how can that, how can that align with those of us who are in ministry? Yes.
Absolutely. It's being in ministry, you are a leader. People look to you, right, for guidance, for just helping them along the way. But one of the things I always tell people is that leaders are the visionaries, the influencers, and decision makers of our society.
That's good,
right? We are in an appointed position at an appointed time.
Come on,
God has given us this role. And we have a responsibility to the people around us. Now, it's not to say that, if they go out and do something and make a choice and free will for themselves, that we're responsible for that. But we are responsible for the role that God has given us, and knowing that and making sure that we take care of that. So in ministry, as we are on the pulpits, we're preaching or we're talking to someone, in their lives and helping to guide them, being a leader is understanding what your purpose is, how you're going to guide that person when they're coming to you, and it's so important, because as a leader, a lot of times people take what you say as gospel, but they have to have the discernment in themselves, and it's about intention and authenticity. That's good. Right?
That's good.
And leading with intention and authenticity comes through your soul, which is through God. So it's so important for us, in any leadership position, but especially in ministry, because we're digging deep, into all of the things that are around us in order to help lead. And if we're not in a good place, we can really kind of damage.
Absolutely, we can hinder the process of someone else's transformation. So Renee, tell us, why is it important for us to invest in ourselves professionally? I notice sometimes we can invest in ourselves with our wardrobe.
I know that's right.
And but outside of like the materialistic things, come on, somebody. Why is it important to invest in ourselves, professionally with coaching, leadership coaching? Right.
So you are your biggest asset. A lot of people don't realize that. You can invest in stocks, you can invest in the church, you can do all the things, buy the shoes, buy the clothes, the hat, and everything, the earrings. But if you are not well in yourself, in your mind, body, and soul, it doesn't work. You can't wear the outfit. You can't invest in that money, that investment. You can't preach. You can't do any of those things if you don't take care of yourself. So taking care of yourself, you can definitely change your diet. You can definitely change several things in your life, but they are often, sometimes we need help or assistance or guidance in the things that we're doing. So professionally, it's just, sharpening and tuning and improving on what we already are. But you have to be good with yourself. So, as a whole person, you have to. If you don't feel good, you're not going to lead effectively.
Ooh, if you don't feel good, you are not going to lead effectively. You know what? You need to put that on a t-shirt. That's good, Renee. That is good. Wow.
Yeah.
So Renee, talk with us. What is why did you develop Radiant Pearl, and also like the name behind that? So talk to us about Radiant Pearl, your business.
So I'm so excited. So usually with business, with coaching, people name the business after themselves. Now my name is Renee Morgan. It's definitely authentic to me, right?
Absolutely.
To me. But there are a lot of Renee Morgans, right? So I looked up every different business. It was Morgan Consulting, Renee Morgan Consulting, and so I said, God kept sending me the word Radiant, and I said, okay, God. I said, well, what else goes with Radiant? And I said, what is Radiant Enterprise? What Radiant? And Pearl came to mind, and Pearl is my mother's name.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And so Radiant I spell it with an E because my name has 3 E's in it, right?
Okay.
So Radiant is just, it's described as the light, right?
Yeah.
The light that we carry. And then a pearl, if you think about how a pearl is developed, right? It goes through a process, right? And so when it's created at the end, it's this beautiful stone. It's of value, it's of worth, it's of God. It's a creation. Yeah. And so with Radiant Pearl, we're shining the light on who you become after you're transformed.
I like that.
With our business coaching. Yeah. So in terms of developing Radiant Pearl, of course, I mentioned my divine purpose is to guide people to wherever they want to go in life, business and leadership. And so it is just a joy to be able to use my gift of discernment and, bring out that in other people to really help guide them. Because it's just, once you find your purpose and you're in alignment with it, God is with you, oh my God, there's so much joy in that.
Listen, you about to maybe run around up in here. Yes, it's just a joy, absolutely. And Renee, I want you to know, we feel that. We feel that through the radio waves. We feel that and hear your energy, absolutely, and your passion. Yes. So Renee, yes. So what does Radiant Pearl offer? Talk to us about what Radiant Pearl offers.
So we offer 3 things. So we offer intuitive business and executive coaching. And people are like, well, what is intuitive coaching? Well, I dig deep, right? I go through and I talk to you about your spiritual practice. If you're working with me, definitely have to have a spiritual practice or seeking one, right? We're going to be connecting and sharing a lot of information. Yeah. So we offer intuitive business and executive coaching. We offer business consulting, which is done for you. So if you need something done in your business, we can do that for you. And then there's a group membership that we have. It's called the Radiant Pearl Business Circle. Okay. It's focused on self-care for the entrepreneur and executive leader. So that is the baby right now. That is the thing, because I'm so excited about it. Yeah.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So share just a little bit more about that membership. And again, is that open to anyone? So let's just say perhaps I'm not a CEO, CFO, president. Hey, I may just be a supervisor or a manager or aspiring, or you know what? I'm fresh out of college, Renee. I'm fresh out of college or I'm fresh out of high school, but I'm looking to grow professionally. Talk to us about that membership circle.
So the membership circle is more so for experienced entrepreneurs and executive leaders, not necessarily for folks that are new to this, right? Okay. There are opportunities for us to do workshops with my team to work with aspiring managers and people that are looking. But for me, one of the things when I was creating the business circle, I knew that working with people already in the position was my path, right? And so this is for, as I mentioned, folks that are already in business, folks that are already in executive leadership positions who are seeking a holistic approach to self-care while on their journey, right? On business and in their career. So with this membership, it's not, we talk about spiritual restoration, we talk about your spiritual practice, but we also talk about educating ourselves or educating us in business and in leadership and how we can enhance our strengths as leaders, how can we strategize to make our businesses better. But the key thing, as I mentioned before, our biggest asset is ourselves. So if we don't feel good, we can't run our business, we can't lead effectively. We're gonna start, affecting people's lives. And I've experienced that. Other people have experienced leaders who are not in a holistic, a whole place, and they're struggling, but they may not want to admit that. And so this is an opportunity, a membership community, where we come together and we really talk to each other. We give advice, we give tips. They'll be working directly with me on a monthly basis. I come on a group coaching call with them, and I help to kind of bring clarity to everything. We have moments of stillness, which a lot of times as entrepreneurs and executives, we don't have. So this is the time to get that. We have self-care tools and techniques. We have education, training, and we're going to have some guest speakers come on.
Awesome.
That are going to be talking about all that, especially talking about nutrition and this, how you can holistically get to a place of, peace. Now, this is not a place where we're going to be self-care shaming. You didn't take your smoothie today. You didn't do that. You didn't, I did 12 miles today this morning. No.
I love it.
This is not that kind of party. No, not at all. This is a journey.
Yes.
And the journey is,
and it's a safe place. It's a safe place.
It's a safe place. Yeah. You see people in the gym, they got all the muscles. They took time to get there. We not, a lot of us aren't there. So I'm on the journey too. So it's not just, me, coming in and saying, make sure you do your 12 miles today. I'm on the journey, but I know that God has put me in this place to help guide us to get to that place. And as we heal as a community of people that are in these positions, we then can set it up so that the new generation,
Come on now.
that the next generation understands how it is to lead authentically and with purpose.
That's good.
That is so important. So I'm doing my part as a collective. Yeah.
Amen. Yeah. That's awesome. Renee, I just remembered I want to ask you about this. And when you were talking about the next generation and paying it forward, I understand that you have a scholarship fund. Can you talk a little bit about your scholarship?
Oh my God, my scholarship! I mean, it's so I'm smiling and beaming here. So I've had a scholarship called Footprint Scholarship Fund, and Footprints was a scholarship that I created for students who lost a parent at a young age. As I mentioned before, my mom passed away when I was 13. And the creation of that, again, you got to listen to the Word of God. I'm telling you, when I was 15, I never forget, in Hyattsville, in high school, I was in the middle of the hallway and I was applying to colleges, and I said, I want to pay it forward. I want to start something that helps students who have lost a parent. And in that hallway, God said Footprints. Wow. 15, and I did. When I started Footprint Scholarship when I was in my 30s, but like 12 years ago.
Wonderful.
I was in high school, so I held on to what God was saying to me, and I started Footprints. We've given out maybe about $80,000 in scholarships.
What, Renee?
Yes.
Awesome.
We have met some phenomenal students and their families. Oh my gosh, just to see them just flourish and just do their thing. Yeah, that is something, and we're actually, in the process of reviewing applications now. So that's just an extension of Radiant Pearl, but it was started before Radiant Pearl. So a lot of times people think, I got to start making money and doing this. Sometimes it's really about being genuine and knowing your purpose, and all the money is going to come. It really will.
Oh my goodness. That is powerful. And Renee, throughout the interview, you've shared how, God was speaking to you. And family, I just want you to be encouraged and to remember, when God is speaking, step out and God will do the rest. All you got to do is be obedient, take that one step. And by Renee being obedient, she has been able to bless young people $80,000 in scholarships. That is a blessing. That is a blessing. So Renee, how has coming from a family of entrepreneurs, how has that helped you cultivate your passion for helping others on their journey to achieving success? How has that helped?
Yeah, it's about being real. This is not an easy journey. It's not like working and then you get your paycheck every 2 weeks or whatever. It comes, and when it comes, you might be overwhelmed, and then sometimes it's slow, and then it builds back up, and you're like, oh my gosh. But it's about being in alignment, with your purpose.
Amen.
Because when you're in alignment with your purpose, everything starts to to come, to come out to light. Mm-hmm. And I'll say, in that first year of my business in 2021, I was doing all the things, and there was a transformation I had to have. I really, I had a large team, and then I realized it's just me, and you know that it's just you, you see that, but your body is still in tune, like we're
Absolutely.
And you're like, oh my gosh. And I remember by the end of the year, I told you I had gone through a journey of transformation in my personal life. I was exhausted, but, and I said, oh gosh, and I was in a place, and I was trying to figure out, the next steps, and, just needed clarity. And I remember, I was looking, to make sure that I was paying, my bills and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, I don't know the next move, God. I was praying. I was like, where is it? Where's the next opportunity? I said, because I need this opportunity. And, praying, and he, I said, God didn't show up this time. I said, okay, is he going to show up? I know he can. So by the top of, for a straight month, Sharice, and there's a testimony in this. And so by the top of the year, I got a phone call for a huge opportunity that blew my mind. And I said, wow, okay. I really wasn't sure how I was going to make it. And in 2022, sorry. And so I said, okay, well, God bless me, da, 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 da. And by the end of 2022, remember in 2021, I had done all that divorce, I left the job. And then by the end of the year, I'm like, I need another opportunity, and or else, we're going to think about, what's going on.
Right.
And by the end of 2022, there was a company that I, kept sending me mail, and I kept tearing it up and putting it away because I was like, I don't need to see that. That's just another piece of mail. Do you know that there was a check in there since 2021?
My Lord, my God, He is a provider. He is a way maker. My goodness.
You know what they said to me? They said, Miss Morgan, we had been sending you this check for the last year, but we hadn't received anything. So, that's why we're sending it again, because I had finally opened up the envelope that they sent. And this time it was blue, and I said, what is it? I said, and there was a check in there that would pay for a whole bunch of things that would have provided in 2021.
My goodness.
And what I realized is that I wasn't seeing it because I was in my own fog. When you pray to God,
come on,
He delivers.
Come on, He will deliver.
You just have to be open to see it. And that is something I said, you know what? I said, a whole year later, God said to me, look, I got you. But you just have to be open to see it.
Yes.
And I just wasn't open at the time. I was so in the process of when's the next opportunity? Oh my gosh, and panic and and scarcity. And so it's important for us to get calm, get grounded, and set the foundation to understand that when you are in calm, that's when you're able to hear God's word. That's when you're able to receive. And then you'll see. Now, it cuts it close. In entrepreneurship, you cut it close.
I love it. I love it. Renee, as we're going to be wrapping up here, how can the family connect with you on social media?
Absolutely. So they can connect with me on social media at Radient Pearl. And Radient is spelled with an E, Radient, Pearl, Pearl. You can find me on Facebook, IG, and Twitter there. You can also find me on LinkedIn, Renee Morgan, business coach there. My website is www.radiantpearl, that's Radiant with an E again, .com. And if you want to email us directly, it's info@radiantpearl.com, or you just book a call with me on the website there. And I would be so excited to talk to you about your new journey.
Family, be sure to connect with Renee Morgan of Radient Pearl. Renee, thank you so much for joining me today. We love you. We're praying for you. Thank you for being with us on today. I'm your host, Lady C. Remember, with God, all things are possible. You have purpose, and it's time to rise and shine. Join me on YouTube, podcast, and on 1580thepraise.com.